Awesome. Thanks for having me. My name is Eli. I'm an account director at StackAdapt. I have Jason here to help me with the demo. Just to get an idea of who we have in the room, can I get a show of hands for anyone who's used a DSP to plan or buy media in the past? Okay, awesome. Who here has absolutely no idea what the heck a DSP is? Okay, perfect. So a DSP stands for a demand-side platform. It's a fancy way of saying a place where you can buy ads online. Easy way to think of it is an aggregator of data and inventory. So we plug into 50 different supply sources, gives us access to 55,000 different sites and apps. On the data side, we give you a suite of tools, or a stack of tools, excuse my bad pun, to essentially target people who are relevant to your brand, whether it's demographic or interest-based as well. For the purpose of the demo, I'm just going to walk you guys through how to build an audience. We have first-party audiences and third-party audiences. For this one, I'm going to do first-party audiences. So the first step to any campaign, I think, is defining your audience. If we click on that Create New Audience segment button up there, you'll see it brings up 5 different questions. Just give us as much information about your campaign, your audience, your brand. Really, the more the better is the way I like to put it. We have a team full of people that are much smarter than I am back home in the office, and they're processing this information to find people who are engaging with content that's relevant to your campaign or your brand or your product. Once you click submit there, it goes off to our BI team. We start building this in-house. I've got an example here of one that we have already made. It's for cooking and online recipes, people who are reading about different things to cook. You can see this is first party. What I like about it is that's transparent. So we sell third-party data as well. I like the transparency of this and being able to see that I've got 53 million people in the segment. I can see what phrases there on the bottom left, right side people are using to actually read the content. I can even see the articles people are reading, so you can see the different recipes people are reading across the board that we've deemed as relevant. And then, maybe most importantly, I can see how fresh the data is. So this one's a 20-day segment. The other side is that these are totally customizable. So the data that you put in for those 5 different questions is how we're going to build this. And moving on, we're just going to actually jump into the campaign creation and actually start attaching this audience to an actual campaign and show you guys how to build a native ad. So the first question is, what's your goal? Is it an awareness campaign? Is it an engagement campaign? Pretty straightforward from there. And then the creative sections. This is where we build our ads. We're going to do some shameless self-promotion of our blog here and throw that up there in the click URL. And then we have this magic wand tool, which I think is pretty neat. If I click this, it will automatically start pulling assets from my page and start building a native ad for me. So you'll see it populates the image. I can crop it right here. It also pulls in the headline, the body text. I can enter my brand name, and right there I have the first steps to getting my ad live. What I like about it as well is I can actually preview my ad. So what's this going to look like once it goes out across the web? Voila. Moving on, I can actually, create A/B split tests. I'd recommend that for any campaign that someone's running. Start duplicating my ad. We have access to Shutterstock and a number of royalty-free images, so you can actually start switching in different images to see how those perform. The second section, the options section, is kind of where I build my campaign. I can enter my budget, my bid, my flight dates, really build the bones of my campaign. I want to call your attention to the post-click engagement piece at the top. I think this is pretty neat and fairly unique to StackAdapt. If you install this pixel on your page, you can bid on a CPE, so it's a cost per engagement bid. This is a post-click time on site bid, so you're only paying for people who spend 15 seconds or longer on your landing page, meaning you're actually getting free impressions and free clicks and ultimately only paying for that engaged user. The targeting section, this is where we can find that custom audience, but we'll start with geo. So we'll just select all of Canada, but we can do country, state, or province, city, DMA, postal code, right down to a radius. And then we have a couple different ways that you can target. Let's just jump into custom segments. This is where you'll see all those first-party segments that we've created, specific to your account, and we can add them in there. We can layer in demographic targeting with age and gender through third-party targeting as well. So there's a couple different ways we can target. It gets a little more granular from here, and we can start narrowing it down by device types, operating systems, different supply sources. You can add on blacklists, you can add on whitelists, and just choose where you want your ad to run. But from here, we have like the basic bare bones of a native ad, and from clicking launch there, it goes out to our network of 55,000. That's it. 5 minutes on the dot. I was watching that timer. Questions? So our partnerships are actually with supply sources. So Index Exchange would actually be a partnership, and they have the relationships with the websites and the publishers and the apps, and then we aggregate that into our platform. So we work with 50 supply sources, and they all have their own network. Yes, definitely. So if you actually go into the advanced options there, if you have an idea of what supply sources you want to run on, you can start clicking in and out of different supply sources from there. Same thing with websites too. You can make a list of sites you want. No problem. Anyone else? Easy.